All right. Once again, welcome to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. I am your host. Now, I am not going to jump in and say this week has been wild and woolly, but this is week 14 in the NFL. Now, let's go over the rules for the rule breakers. Remember, sports therapy is sports entertainment only. We don't give medical advice. We just give life advice. Now, do not ever call me doctor. I am FH Jr., although I do have a master's degree in counseling, but do not call me doctor. Sports therapy, once again, this is sports entertainment only, where callers will have 2 minutes to call in and rip, rant, kick some knowledge about all things NFL related. Also, please keep in mind that if you call into the show, which I hope you do, please turn your volume up on your phone all the way up so that we can all hear your conversation. Now, please keep in mind on Sports Therapy with FA Jr., we don't talk politics. We don't give a fat rat's butt about what the Democrats are doing, nor do we care what the Republicans are doing. All are welcome on the show. We don't talk race relation, nor do we talk sexual orientation. Got that over with. Our show this week and then every week is sponsored by Crown Royal. And you know that is my favorite drink. But before we begin, I want to take the time to send my prayers and condolences to one of our guests. He's pretty much one of our regulars, and that's Mr. Brandon Cooper. Brandon lost his aunt this week, and I want to say to Brandon, hey man, we are keeping you in our prayers, and we hope that everything goes well with you. And please, give us a call if there's anything that we can do. Please let us know, okay? But we will keep you in our prayers. And that is Brandon, and of course, he comes to us on a regular basis, big Raven fan, and he's also one of the members of Ignat University, and that's where him and the guys really entertain there too. So they have a sportcast. Now, I am in a happy mood today. All because now you guys know I'm always wearing the standard uniform, which is my the standard uniform, the basic black augmented by the commander's colors, set off by the Washington commander hat, along with the cool beard that I sport every week. Um, my Commanders, although we didn't play this week, we made the playoffs. Well, we're back in the playoff hunt now. You know what? Maybe we should take off next week. But no, we got to lay hands on those Giants. So, hey, man, the show is what it is, man. The show is what it is. I expect to hear from Ravens fans. I definitely I definitely expect to hear from them, their Cowboys, along with the Who Dat Nation. So, it's gonna be an action-packed show. Haven't decided the format for Christmas yet, because I know there's gonna be games on Christmas night, and I may take one for the team and have the show Christmas night, because that's what we do. That's what we do here, man. We're here for you. We're here for the fans. And remember, I don't like doing the show alone, so that's why I hope we can get some calls in, because now I can carry the show. Do I want to? No. I get my energy and my juice from my fans. So if you want to call in, the number to call on the show is 940-329-4510. That's the number to call if you want to be a live guest on Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. Also, I have I wouldn't say I ventured out, because Sports Therapy comes to you live always on Facebook and YouTube. But you know what? We're on Instagram, and we're getting our Instagram on. Yeah, we are. We're new to Instagram. First time I was on, man, I got suspended the first day. I don't know what I did, but we back on Instagram. So if you want to check us out and follow me on Instagram, that is Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. And you can always get us. All right. So now let's go on with the show. There has it was exciting today. The show was very exciting. We have a we have a calling guest already. Sports therapy with FH
Hello?
Junior.
Hey,
Hey, hey, hey, hey. Who we got?
Jay.
Jay and Grandpa. Jay, you know the good thing about today is
What's that?
your Saints were on a bye this week. So that was a great thing. So, can't say you guys had a bye. So I wouldn't say you didn't but let's talk about the last time the Saints played, because I know that is on your mind. Because you know what, Jay, I was thinking about you all week, and I was like, I wonder, is Jay watching this game? Because I know you were. Your
I
Saints.
saw that man.
Well, you know what? You know the gist of the show. When you get 2 minutes to rip, rant, kick some knowledge, or just cry, cuss. Even if you cuss, we got the cussing bell right for you. So Jay, I'm gonna let you have the stage.
I don't know what that was. It seems like we had that game. We had that until the end. In the fourth, we we just let go. The defense played loose. We missed too many tackles. We gave up too many yards. I don't I don't know what that was. And then Taysom Hill, he dropped the ball. He couldn't catch. I don't know.
Far be it
We
for
just fell
me.
apart. How you come back from? We had a game. We had 13, was it 13, 16, 16-3, and then we just let go.
You let go of the rope. You know when the rope starts to burn your hand, Jay, you can't do nothing but let go. I watched that game. See, on Thursdays, I do something else. Other than, see, for those who think all I do is sit around and podcast and things of that. Hey, I do have another job. Now, I'm not gonna go into detail as to what my other job is, but I do work for the education system. But in my spare time, I still like to get involved with my kids. So I work some of the football and basketball games as well. So I had to hightail it back for the game Thursday, Jay. And you know what? I like how the game started. The Saints were like, they came out like with guns blazing. Had the lead. Um, the Red Rifle was looking good, and especially the rookie wide receiver you got, Chris Olave. I may be mispronouncing his name. You guys know I got a Cajun Southern accent anyway, so you trying to figure out where does my accent come from? Part of little Louisiana, little Arkansas, little God knows wherever I've been, because I've been in the military, so my accent is what it is. But the Red Rifle was firing off on in for some strange reason, you guys had TB Tom looking every bit of a 47-year-old quarterback. He was looking like he needed some help. And, I thought they were going to give him one of those life alert buttons, where you press and with a man down.
Uh,
But you all had the game all the way up until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Saints were in control of that game. Not only were you guys in control of that game, you all had a chance to keep your playoff hopes alive. I don't know, have you all been mathematically eliminated, but I know you. I think you guys got like 10 loss. But had the Saints won that game, that would have it would have pole vaulted you guys back in the the middle of the playoff hunt. But it was the defense. Did you see what you guys defense did?
Nothing. At the end, nothing. We just relax. Just sit on the couch and chill out.
That's exactly what y'all did. Y'all just sat on the couch. Y'all just sat on the couch. I was
Like
like,
football after Thanksgiving.
I was I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I was disappointed because other than my commanders, other than my commanders, there is no fan shaming on sports therapy with FH Junior. There is no fan shaming. But other than my commanders, I root for the Saints. I love the Who That Nation. Y'all got a big followers, and I like them. They're Saints. Who that there? But I'm not saying that you know that I'm gonna buy a Saint jersey or anything like that because that's not gonna happen. But I enjoy watching the Saints. But I was just I just don't know what happened. It's like now, but keep in mind, you guys were playing the greatest quarterback that ever lived in TB Tom Brady, and so you should never give that guy the ball with any seconds left on the clock. It shouldn't happen. That should not happen. So, what are the goals for next year? Because isn't it time to let Jameis play, right, Jay?
We good. He ending the game. We keep him up on there. We good.
You know, I always rag you about Jameis because I think,
He came on the bench. He put on the sideline for a minute. He good. He should be all right.
well, the flip side is that you guys didn't lose today because y'all want to buy. So the Saints didn't lose. But you guys still may be alive. I got to go back and look at all my statistics and stats and all that because you guys may still be alive because I know that Tampa Bay lost today. So,
Yeah, I
there
saw that.
and right now
That was a
nobody.
good game.
Yeah, it was. Nobody in you all division have a a winning record. So whoever wins the division, they are going to have a they're going to have a losing record. So y'all look yeah because the Buccaneers played the 49ers today and they 49ers put it on them. They did. They put them on. They put it on them with about 45. I mean
That's an understatement
30. What'd you
of the
say?
year right there. That's the understatement of the year right there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Because you know what? I when I talk to all of my Saints fans and Panther fans and the Falcons, I come to the conclusion that nobody in you all division like each other. I wonder why. I wonder why.
yeah.
Because Saints can't stand the Falcons, Saints fans can't stand the Panthers, and and you guys definitely can't stand the Buccaneers.
That's not happening. No, we good.
Well, Jay, I don't know if I think you guys are still alive. I wouldn't say that you're mathematically eliminated, but I will tell you this: I did like what I saw in TB Tom, not TB Tom. I'm sorry. I did like what I saw in Andy Dalton, the Red Rifles, because he played well. I'm not gonna lie. I like
Yeah.
that.
He
He,
was on point.
yeah, he definitely was. He was on point. So hey, Jay, I am gonna let you go. Appreciate your call. And
All right.
can we get a who that out of you real quick?
Who that said they gonna beat them?
All right, G. Thank you for calling.
All right.
Sports therapy with F.A. Jr.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Ah, what say ye, brother Chris?
Well, I mean, hey, we floated on down tonight. Got barely past that today, but I don't know.
Chris, in the words of a famous man, a win is a win is a win. And when is a win not a win? Is when is a tie or a loss.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we dodged a lot of bullets tonight. Got a lot of help out of Houston to pull that one out. But you know, I guess the good teams do find a way to pull it out when everything's going against them or they ain't playing well. So I guess we have that 98-yard in the fourth quarter to thank. I guess
Yes. For the fans who are listening, if you want to know what we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys versus the 1-10 Houston Texans, and they had the Cowboys on the ropes today. I was feeling bad for my man Chris. I sent up a prayer for you, Chris. I did.
We needed several.
Now you know that the gist of the show is that you get 2 minutes to rip, rant, kick some knowledge, and you cannot talk about the entire game. But Chris, I'm gonna give you some leeway today because I think you need some therapy from what. Because I can tell you, my brother, that was a white knuckle ride.
Mm, yes, it was. I mean, we started great. The opening drive was fantastic, but then Houston really started to expose us. I mean, everybody knows the Cowboys' run defense is hit or miss, but they they made Dak just rush through every one of his progressions, and every time he does that, he misses key defenders and throws a pick. And we finished with 2 picks today out of Dak, and I don't know how we continually do this and come out on top, but I'm not gonna, kick that gift horse in the mouth. But I think we need to do a better job of preparing Dak for these situations because more and more people are starting to expose him. If they rush him at all, he's gonna make a mistake, and it's showing every week.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. Now, to me, one key turning point in that game was I'm trying to think of the offensive lineman you guys got Steele. When he went down,
Mm,
I started to notice that all of a sudden Dak wasn't getting the time to even go through a lot of his progressions. Um, I mean, he would go into like a 1 3 step drop, and they would be right there. That defense would be right on
yeah, then whoever they brought in initially
him.
after Steele went down was just. I mean, we would have been better off leaving the hole there. But when Peters came in, there's a little bit more comfort there. But I mean, this was late in the game. We're in the fourth quarter, and we're backs against the wall. This is about to be it. And thankfully, Houston. I don't know why they did what they did, but you're right there on the goal line, and you opt not to kick the field goal. Okay, I'll take it. And the 98-yard drive ensues from that. But we're not going to get help like this much longer. The end of the season's quickly approaching. If we want to make a run into the postseason, we got a lot of stuff we got to tighten up on, and we got to do some more conditioning, keep these guys healthy before we get to that point and start losing everybody. And it's just the season was for naught.
Chris, I want to take you to one specific event. Right before halftime, what happened? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought at any time the Cowboys were going to take control of that game and strangle the life out of the Houston Texans. I thought it was going to happen. I was like, you know what? Yeah, because you guys were favored to win that game, I believe. The point spread was like 17 points. But right before
Mm-hmm.
halftime, man, I'm not gonna lie. I went to my kitchen to get me some food. I came back and the Texans were up by 3. Paint the picture for me because I missed that. What happened?
I'm gonna be honest with you too. I missed it as well. I do know that the only reason that they only were up by 3 is because yet again our defense is saving us. And I mean we kind of got iffy there today as well with a couple of our defenders, but like always, they're the one part of our team right now that is stout and is always showing up consistently. You're
Mm-hmm.
right though. This game should have been out of hand from the beginning. We
Yes.
had too many drop passes, so many miscues. It's just almost as if Jerry went down to one of the local high schools out here and said, "Hey, I'm going to give my boys another week off. Come suit up for us," because that was not the team we saw against Indianapolis at all.
Man, I'm telling you, right before halftime, I thought you guys kicked the ball right back. I'm like, you know what? This game is gonna be tied at halftime, 17-17. I think it might have been like a minute and 10 seconds before halftime. And I'm like, you know what? Let me run and get me something for a quick, because I'm snacking while I'm watching the game, because I always have a good game meal playing. But when I came back, man, they were kicking a field goal. The Texans were kicking a field goal and going up 20 to 17. That's why I was asking you, what?
And I can't remember if if it was one of his picks or if it was just one of those many 3-and-outs they forced Dallas into. Now that I'm not gonna lie to you, that defense had our line's number today. Like there was no out for us at all. They were in the backfield snuffing out our run, and then just in Dak's face constantly hitting his arm, hitting him, not giving him the time to plant his feet. But I, like they say, any given Sunday, even the worst teams in the NFL can show up one day and give you a run for your money.
Well, you know how we talk sometimes, and I tell you that when it comes to the Cowboys, for some teams, the Cowboys are their Super Bowl game. It's like, you know what, we gotta get up to play these guys. We're 1-10. We have nothing to lose. We're just free, playing free. I question Lovey Smith's call on that fourth and goal from the freaking 2 yard lines. Like, dude, kick the field goal and go up 6. But
I think he felt that if he had gotten in that end zone and went ahead with that 6 points, it would have taken the air out of the Cowboys, and this final would have been different. And I think that's what he was going for because of the same mindset. They had nothing to lose.
not,
They're going to come out of there either 2-10 or 1-11. So either way, they could lay it all on the table.
yeah, I agree. But I would love to see him take that field goal. But either way it go, Cowboys went down with less than around about 2 minutes left, and I actually thought at that point you guys were going to play for overtime. I said, okay, we're going to have some overtime here. But the next thing I know, hey, you guys got in the end zone, and it was touchdown city. Who could argue with that?
No, and yeah. I mean, I'm as irritated and frustrated as I was for 90% of that game. The opening drive was good, and the way we closed it out was good. And I guess that's what we need to hang our hats on tonight. Nothing was going the Cowboys' way. He wasn't comfortable in the backfield. Our running game was abysmal at best. So, I mean, we still came out of there with a W, and a win's a win. So I guess we hang our hats on that this week.
Now, Chris, let me say this to you. What I saw, because I'm going back and forth between several games, so I could be able to talk about it on the show. But what I saw was teams just running the ball on the Cowboys, and it's no secret. You run the ball at the Cowboys. You guys have a small defense. Now you got some guys that's gonna make some plays, but you can't run away. You can't get in third and long against the Cowboys. Everybody know that. You're in third, and anything above third and 4 or 5, they're gonna pin their ears back, and you're gonna get a heavy dose of the Cowboys. But the formula, or I would say you guys' Achilles heel, has been teams' ability to just run right at you.
Yeah, there's no arguing that. And you're right. When they get into those 3rd and 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, they're gonna bring the house. It just seemed as if we weren't running to the full caliber that we normally do, because I don't know if it was the fact that they were doing like there's 2 quarterbacks and 2 running backs against us, and it was just always a different look. If that's what kept Dallas on their heels, but they need to dial something up. They need to run. I don't know what they need to do, but I need to see some more, on the fly adjustments coming out of Dan Quinn right now. Because if we continue to defend against the run that poorly, yeah, it doesn't matter. They're not going to throw against us if they could just run against us.
No, because when the playoffs get here, it becomes a hand to hand combat basically. Referees got tendencies to let you play a little bit more, so they're not gonna call those holding calls that they normally call for the receivers. A lot of times they're gonna let the defense play a little bit because it's the playoffs. So what I'm getting at is that I see um, because when I think about the Cowboys in the playoff, I think about that game with the 49ers where they just ran it right down your throat. And, I don't see, I mean, you tell me what is going to happen that's going to be different than that? Because you guys picked up two guys that were supposed to be run stoppers, but I didn't see them stopping the run at all today.
No, I guess they all just, left the clubs a little late last night and didn't come ready to play. I mean, because at the end of the day, yeah, our defense is considered one of the top tier defenses in the NFL. But when our offense is clicking, you don't want them on the field. And Houston hurt us today because they were able to exploit that run that we couldn't stop, and that kept our playmakers really on the bench. So you use up the game clock. If you go through the stats from today, time of possession was heavily in Houston's favor.
Yes.
We should not have come out with that win today. And that's what they need to prevent. They need to be able to attack them on that line, dominate that line of scrimmage, really to own that doomsday defense and title, in my opinion. But they got a lot of changes they got to make.
Well, most teams, the way they have played, the Houston Texans have came out and said, you know what, we're going to stop the run and make the quarterback beat you through the air. Make the quarterback win the game by throwing. It was like Cowboys. Everybody know the blueprint on the Texans. You just come out because they're gonna run it at you. Period.
Yeah.
It's like they're not gonna disguise what they're gonna do because they don't have the athletes to do anything. They tricked it up a little bit today when they had those rotating quarterbacks in. But still, it's not like they came today with some extra wide receivers or extra players that could really get things done. It looked like it was the same old, man. They're going to feature the run.
Well, don't tell Moore that because if you ask Moore, that receiver, he had a breakout game. I mean, he was just a top-tier receiver today. There was no answer for him from the Cowboys defense. He was beating us up, and because we were trying to adjust to the run. Every time we tried to adjust for the run, there was more over the top. And so, I don't know. They got to balance it out a little bit. I don't know if it's because people are not at 100% and they're milking it along because, I don't know. It just didn't – it felt flat to me today. It just did not feel like that energy was there the last couple of weeks, like it was in the last couple of weeks. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Let me ask you.
Jacksonville next.
Let me ask you this question. Could the problem have been the fact that I'm trying to think of the DB that you guys had that got injured?
In pre-workout?
No, the one that got injured last week.
Oh, Anthony Brown.
Yes, because see, if you ask me, I think Anthony Brown is a better overall corner than Diggs. Diggs is going to give you the highlight because Diggs takes chances. Yeah, he's going to get some interception, but the other guy, he supports the run. He's there, and he allows Diggs to do the things that Diggs does. And I think you guys missed him today.
Yeah, there's no question in my mind because that strong, stiff element to counter Diggs, it wasn't there. It was definitely missed. And, Diggs' personality came out at the end of the game when he's begging for at least 50-50 credit to that interception at the end of the game. It's just like, that's not where your head needs to be at. You came out with the win. What can you do to improve that? Because you should have blown this team out. That's where your head needs to be. So, yeah, we're missing Anthony Brown, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later when we get him back. But, yeah, it definitely felt tilted on that defensive side. And I didn't even think about Brown not being in there today. So that accounts for a lot.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I was noticing. It's like, okay, AB's not there, and he really – because Bottom line is Diggs is not going to support that run like Anthony Brown is, and it makes a difference when you got that cornerback over there that you have to kind of, like I said, he don't get all the accolades as Diggs because he's just a solid overall cornerback. But I think out of the two, I think he's the better overall corner. No, he's not going to have the interceptions, but he's one of those guys that when he's not there, it makes a difference on your defense. You missing some things you can't do, when he's not there. And I think that set the tone. But I also know that when Steele went out, um, they start teeing off, man. It's almost like there were a couple of times I was like, did anybody even block this one guy? He ran right past the offensive lineman, and you were giving Dak hell.
Yeah, it was. Oh, he's a former Cowboy too. Malik Collins. I forgot his name now. But yeah, he was a former Cowboy. He was just eating Dak all day.
Yes,
just no worry.
He was living in the backfield, and when he didn't hit Dak, he would scare the living hell out of him. I think he was the guy that hit his hand and caused that fumble.
Yes.
And then there was one play now when Dak, I don't know what the hell happened to make Dak throw that interception, man. I don't know if he was staring down the receiver or he was just, jumpy from being in under siege. But I was like, whoa. And it was at the.
It almost was a wince, though. When he threw it, he was wincing in pain almost. So that one that really nobody was in his face. He really didn't have that pressure, but it almost seemed like he was still feeling something when he let that ball go because it was just, I don't know, it was like he was throwing right to the Texan.
You think? You think, man? I was like, okay, what? Now the flip side of that is two things. Because I tried to see the positive out of everything. One is that my commander didn't play today, so I can't be upset today, brother. That's why I don't need therapy today. I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need therapy. I'm here for you guys. but I had my 1-day membership for the Philadelphia Eagles. I was an Eagle fan. Just for the day. And the Eagles beat the living hell out of the Giants, man. To the point to where I had to quit watching. Because, they even switched the freaking channel.
They moved it over to the Cowboy game.
Yes.
They even, I remember when they cut in, they're like, we'd like to welcome everybody who was watching the Eagles destroy the Giants. So, I mean, yeah.
And you know what? I will say the Eagles are the best team in our division. It's time for us. I'm a Commander fan. You're a Cowboy fan. It's time for us to just bow down and say nobody's going to catch them in the division. And barring,
they're the most well-balanced team.
They are. You just have to pick one. You have to pick one way to go after them. And hope there's some things fall in place. You got to take away something. You say, okay, we got to come in and say we're going to take away the run. If they beat us throwing it, they just beat us. But you just can't not let them do whatever they want to do, and which what the Giants did. The Giants had nothing. Nothing.
No, they went in today's game from what I saw, and it almost looked like, oh crap, this is already an L for us. Let's just go out here and just stay warm. But they weren't ready to play.
No, at all. At all. Now let me take you back to the Cowboy game real quick, and then we might circle back around. Each week we talk about Zeke versus the other running back you guys got. Now,
Pollard.
That kid Pollard, man, like I tell you, man, it's just something about because he scored a touchdown where they had him, he walked the tightrope and just went into the end zone. I was like, boy, that dude, it's just that he makes big plays at the right time, if there is such a thing.
he's got an incredible downfield vision. That play you're talking about, I mean, he got hit in the head, and it was almost
Yes.
like, well, you can keep my head, my body and the ball is going in the end zone. So he knows where he's at on that field. He knows what needs to happen, and he knows how to make it happen. And now he's starting to show that he can go up the middle and he can pick up blocks. It's He's making a case to being the top back for somebody, if not, breaking Jerry's bank to stay here with us because he's something else. He's a beast.
But is Jerry going to pay him? Is he gonna put his hand on that fire once again and get burned like he did in regards to Zeke's contract? Because you know the saying, man, we don't pay running backs.
Yeah. I will say that I think Zeke has kind of woken up and taken notice to the caliber of back that Pollard is because Zeke he's in incredible shape this year. He seems to be developing that downfield vision and almost mimicking that low center of gravity that Pollard has when he's running and how he's easy to keep his balance when he gets knocked around a little bit, but he can still go because his body's still oriented towards the end zone. So if Zeke continues to progress that way, maybe Jones lets him go. Do I want that to happen? God, no. But it is a position that you kind of end up, if you're going to pay, you're going to waste the bank on it, and you're going to be lacking in other positions on that field. So I mean, Jerry might do it though. I mean, he's done stranger things.
Yeah, Jerry has done stranger things, but I guess the reason I'm bringing it up is because going back to what you're saying, Zeke has been watched, but here's the thing: you can watch another guy perform all you want. At the end of the day, when your body has taken so much wear and tear, your mind tells you you can do this, but your body says, hey, I can't do that anymore. So, regardless of, because Zeke used to run that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Younger Zeke did run that way, but it's the wear and tear. And, because when you're a running back, man, it's like you're in a car crash on every play. Whether you get the ball or not, you still going to either get hit or hit somebody because you either got to carry out the fake, pick up a blitzing linebacker or blitzing defensive. It all depends on what the defense is doing. You are involved all the time. And sometimes people think about when they think about the running back, well, hey, he's getting the ball, he's carrying it, he's only getting like 2 yards to carry. But look at the thing that the guy does away from the play, you know?
Yep. Yep. I mean, I will say this, however. Jerry has already said that this year he's willing to throw everything, that this is the year. So he was willing to bring OBJ in. I'm glad he backed off that a little bit. But I think if they win the Super Bowl, I think he tries to figure out a way to keep both of them. I honestly do. And I think that, maybe, that's where we're going to lose Dan Quinn or some of these key defenders that we have. But if they make it to the Super Bowl, I think he's going to open up the purse strings a whole lot more. So we'll see what happens.
But I think, and and I'm a Commander fan, so I'll never be on you guys' bandwagon at all. In fact, you guys you guys know most of the time I cheer for you to lose. But I will I will say this: I think everybody's taking a notice of what the Commanders are doing in terms of the type of two back system that we have, and what to me would be smart for the Cowboys is to keep both of those guys. Um, can you get Zeke to take a pay cut to balance out, what my man should be making? Because at some point, I think it'd be great. You know, but what are we gonna do? What are you guys gonna do? Because I think Pollard would be great, but I don't think he could just be a featured back. I think those days are gone. To be honest with you, Chris, I think those days are
I do
gone.
too. I think we're more, yeah, we're more going back to that full back and running back set, a two back set, like you're saying, like you guys do run out in Washington. I mean, I think they could restructure his deal to maybe take some of that money that's tied up into him and turn it into bonus or something. I don't. I think it can be done, and just the relationship he's built with this team, I think they could do it. I mean, he made it a point to be one of the the highest paid back at that time when he was holding out. But I think at this point, since he is getting older, I think he's starting to evaluate things a little bit differently, and I think he likes having Pollard come in and carry a little bit more of those tougher downs for him. So I'd be interested to see if it was ever offered what he would do, because I think he would jump on it to keep Pollard because he's such an explosive yin to his yang, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and see, and I think other than the old standard quote, which is have your feature back and a third down back, but I think because with the Commanders, well, we don't have a third down back anymore because my man got hurt, McKenzie got hurt. But that may have been a blessing in disguise because now we feature two guys that pretty much get the same amount of carries, and we ride with whichever one that's hot, And if you any kind of running back, you really don't mind. You really don't mind if let's say if Chris is hot. I'm like, hey man, keep letting Chris do his thing. I don't have to take that wear and tear. I don't have to take that ice bath this week. And if you can convince both of those guys that it would be good for their careers, long term, then I think if you can kind of get the money balance along with the duties and the expectation, I think that would be a win-win for everybody because I see it going that way.
I mean, every Dallas fan right now would love for it to play out that way. So we'll find out in the offseason because this is the end of his contract. We got to start talking at the end before next season starts. So I'd be interested to see how that plays out.
Wouldn't it be good for Pollard to be able to look in the stands and see his mom with his jersey on instead of Zeke's jersey on?
Oh man, the days are coming. I will say that wherever he's at.
Because I remember we had that conversation. I said, man, Jerry's about merchandising, man. He's about selling them jerseys. I said, hell, Pollard probably looks in the stand and see his mom with a Zeke jersey on. He's like, oh, what the hell? But I mean, because I think now you should be able to start merchandising and selling his jersey because he's starting to get, he's starting to get out there. You know what I mean? He really is. A lot of people are starting to take notice. And, I'm being facetious, but he is a good back, man. And I told you, man, the guy has a lot of wiggle.
You're seeing him take more advantage of the touches he is getting. I mean, in prior seasons, he may have not as ran as hard or, tried to make that second effort for that end zone. And he's doing it. I mean, he's definitely putting people on notice and showing them that, hey, I can do this. You can count on me for this. So, I don't know. I don't want to lose him because I definitely don't want to play him.
Well, see, my thing is that I think the guy was always that way, but I think it was about not wanting to hurt Zeke's ego and not wanting to hurt Zeke's market value in terms of being able to sell merchandise, because Pollard he didn't wake up all of a sudden and became that the back he is now. He's always been that way. They was just limiting the carries that he was giving. They were limiting his opportunities, But every time,
I mean, you pay one guy six figures, you want to use him.
Yeah, you think? But every time that guy was making the most out of, if he was only going to get the ball 4 or 5 times a game, hell, to the point, because the first people that started to really call for Pollard to get more action was the actual fans. Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of times we're the ones who have the better seat in the house because we can watch the guys run a little bit more objectively because fans want to win.
Want to win, and we ain't covering that paycheck.
No, not at all. Not at all, my brother. You're right. Not at all. But Chris, it has been real. Let's give thanks to the Eagles. Let me give thanks to the Panthers because right now, without throwing not one touchdown or blocking not one person, and without not taking one hit, the Commanders are back in the 7th spot for the playoffs, baby.
Man, if there was ever more of an epitome definition of a win on a bye week, you guys got it this week.
Hey, brother, what do I say? A win is a win, baby. Win is a win, not a win. Win is a tie or loss. Hey, Chris, I'll talk to you next week, man.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
All right, you too, brother. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Sports Therapy with F.A.
What's
Jr.
going on, my brother? What's up
Hey.
with you, my brother?
Hey, man. How goes it? How goes it?
Man, it's been one of them days today.
Has it been one
My
of them
Steelers,
days?
yeah, my Steelers, we didn't show up today. We let three quarterbacks beat us.
For those who are
Two
listening,
for Baltimore and one for us.
for those who are listening,
Yeah.
this is Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. And you're listening to my homeboy Glenn. As you can see, he's a big time Steeler fan. And if you are just driving by and you want to know what the hell are you listening to, you're listening to Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. And the number to call if you want to be a live guest is 940-329-4110. What say ye, homeboy Glenn?
Man, it's just been one of those days. Another Steeler letdown. We let three quarterbacks. We had too many quarterbacks to beat us today. One was on our team.
Which one was on y'all team that beat you?
You know which one it was, Mitch Trubisky.
Man.
Yeah, he completed more passes in Baltimore than the Ravens did.
Now, Glenn, let me hold you up right there. Now, you know the gist of the show is that callers get 2 minutes to rip, rant, laugh, cry, kick some knowledge, or cuss. Even if you cuss, I got the cussing bell right for you. But I want to ask you this. I want to take you to one specific event. You guys had the ball, and I think you were on the Ravens. Ah, man, it was like either the 10 or the 15-yard line, and Mitchell Trubisky was in there. And all he had to do was drive the bus. I thought the least that you guys would come away with would be a field goal. But Mitch proved me wrong because you know what he did? He threw an interception.
Like he always do about that time. Every time. We don't have no quarterback. It looked like our running game that disappeared. I don't know what happened to our running back. 12 carries for 12 or 13 carries for 28, 30 yards ain't gonna cut it. We just ain't gonna cut it, man. Well, I know we might well get ready for the draft and go in there and get us an offensive lineman instead of a playmaker or a quarterback. So,
now you know
I'm looking forward. Go ahead.
There was talk about Kenny Pickney was coming around. He's starting to look pretty good, and it's like okay, he's starting to fit the position. And didn't he go out today with a concussion?
Yes. And I don't think he. That's what they said, but to me, he don't. I don't see nothing he do to tackle him. I don't see no improvement. I don't see no improvement coming from him. And we need an offensive coordinator bad. I don't know what we're gonna do if we don't get an offensive coordinator. We'll be 6-11 next year.
Who's you guys?
Keep that offensive coordinator.
Who's your offensive coordinator? Is he new or has he been there a while? Because I know Mike Tomlin is more on the defensive side of the ball.
Man, I can't think of the offensive coordinator name right now, but he's been there. I think this is second year there, but he ain't cutting it. He ain't cutting it. in the defense, he's not cutting it. We need a whole overhaul on offense. about 3 years ago, we had one of the best offensive football. Now we got one of the worst. I don't know what happened.
Ye- Yeah,
But
yo.
we barely hanging on to a playoff spot by a string. But I think after next week we'll be out of it because I think Carolina gonna take us out. I
Carolina
think
look
the Panthers gonna take us out.
the Panthers looked pretty good today when they took down. Let me see what them there Panthers. Yeah, the Panthers did me a favor
Seahawks.
today. They did me a favor today. They
Yeah,
took
I know they did.
they took out them Seahawks, boy. They
I,
put us right back in that 6 and 7 spot, baby. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
man, it's coming down to the wire, and I think it's gonna be real. It's coming down to the wire. It's gonna be real good
It is.
this year.
It is.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire, and whoever make it in there, you have to, I don't care if you're a 5, 6 seed, it's gonna be dangerous.
I don't think
Any team can upset anybody.
I don't think there are any teams, even if they make it to the playoffs, kind of like what you're talking about, that you can just pencil them in as getting past the first game that they got to play. Because hell, anybody can beat anybody now.
Anybody can beat anybody this year. And right now, as good as the Eagles playing, it don't take nothing but an injury away from changing everything.
That's right. All it takes is
One injury.
all it takes is an injury to a major player. For example, I'm trying to think of who's the receiver for the Eagles. They just picked him up from they got him from the Titans. If AJ Brown, if anything happens to AJ Brown, dude, that will throw their whole team into a tailspin because everything Jaden does, it is centered around having AJ Brown because you got to cover him when he run deep. DB's got to go with him. That open up that lane for Jalen to become a runner. It's like I said. Sometimes it just take that one major injury to that one player, and it makes a whole difference as to how far your team goes. It takes you from being an elite team to just an average team or below average team.
That's true. But right now, I think Jalen Hurts is the leading candidate for the MVP as of right now.
Oh, I do too.
4 games left. Anything can happen. But right now, I think he just took over the lead for MVP.
Oh, I agree with you.
I don't see nobody playing better than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I know they keep trying to throw their names up in there, but I don't see either one of them playing better than Jalen Hurts now.
Not right now. Not right now.
But that NFC East, it tightened up a little bit. As good as Dallas playing, they should have lost today. I knew they were going to find a way to pull it out. But as good as they playing, they still in 2 games behind the Eagles. So anything can happen. Dallas showed me today that they vulnerable. But anytime you can't blow out the Houston Texans,
I know,
something wrong right there. And like I keep telling them people, some Cowboy fans, the one I talked to my cousin the other night in Dallas, Chris, you are not going to no Super Bowl with no Dak Prescott as your starting quarterback.
Say it one more time.
I'm just saying, Dallas Cowboys will not go to the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I want them to see that film Stephen A. Smith showed last year when they got put out by the 49ers. They're going to be looking the same way about the first round. Whoever they play. More likely Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now, I will tell you, I think if you were to ask me what 2 teams that I don't think anybody want to play in that first round are the 49ers and the Commanders. I don't think anybody will play us or them because we play just physical, run the ball. We just play physical. We try to control the clock. And both teams have a bus driver quarterback right about now because remember, 49ers are playing a rookie since my man broke his foot. And because, we got Heineke, but, he's a gunslinger, so we got to manage him. But because I don't know if you got a chance to watch last Thursday night's game with featured the Buccaneers and the Saints. The Saints had that game won. They had the Buccaneers,
They
even though.
should have won.
Oh yeah, they
Don't
were.
have a coach. Don't
They,
have a coach.
they defense gave up 2 touchdowns within 5 minutes in the fourth quarter.
And then get fined $500,000
Yes.
for cheating.
Yeah, man. When they catch you on camera just going down like somebody shot you, I was like, it's like who's
man, like I said, man, it's the 49. I like that quarterback they have. He's a rookie. He don't get out there and make no bad mistakes. He don't get out there and make mistakes, and he's kind of steady. He's not gonna beat himself, and he plays within the system. So I think they still gonna be kind of hard to beat with that defense they have. I don't know who really can move the ball on them. Too tough.
Did you see what they did to the to Tampa Bay today?
Destroyed them.
Man, they beat them.
Did you see that hit? Did you see that hit that guy from Jacksonville put on Derrick Henry?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Man,
They were hit.
I never seen them get hit like that.
They
Jacksonville, Detroit, and Carolina is 3 teams on the rise.
mm-hmm.
Jacksonville they're gonna be tough in about a year or two.
Next year they're gonna be tough because I was talking to
They're gonna be tough.
I was talking to one of my guests. I told him, I said, when we played them this year, I said, man, they're gonna get together. They're gonna get it together on somebody, and they're starting to get it together. And now it won't surprise me if they don't beat the Cowboys next week because they got a little bit more firepower, than the Texans have, and they got a little bit more firepower. So I think they.
That's true. I think they took Jacksonville. They physical. They team in Detroit. I'm beginning to kind of believe in them a little bit.
Yeah, but man, I need somebody to stop them Detroit Lions because they're the ones who are gonna be fighting for us for that last playoff spot, man. It's like, wait a minute, somebody got to stop. Well, see, I knew that they had an explosive offense because hell, they beat us, and they beat us because I kept telling people, I said, man, their offense is explosive. I watched them. I was like, man, there's something about them Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they dangerous, man, and they just got that receiver back that towards ACL in the championship game in college.
And they play.
I think he's explosive.
And they play hard for their coach.
Play hard for their coach, and that makes all the difference. That makes all the difference in the world. They play hard for their coach.
And they don't.
And I think they're gonna be a team. They're gonna be a dangerous team. They might not make the playoff this year, but they're gonna have something to look forward to next year.
Hell, I hope they don't make the playoff because if they make the playoff, that means we don't make the playoffs.
y'all you all just have to win out. Do y'all play Dallas one more time?
Yes. Yeah. Now
I think y'all.
We got the Giants next week. We got Cleveland. And I believe we got Dallas. That should be it for us. If I may be missing one, but because I believe that's it because we are 7-5-1, so that means we played. So I'm missing a team in there somewhere, but I believe I know we play the Giants, and I know we play Cleveland, and I know we play the Cowboys. So I'm missing a team in there somewhere, but yeah. But it is what it is, brother. And and this thing is it's getting intense as we get down to the end, Glenn. It is getting intense, brother. But that's good watching, man, because that's what we want.
That's what we want. But I kind of be glad when the season over so Pittsburgh and cat ass on because there's a big disappointment to me this year. I'm a diehard Steelers fan since the '70s, and they ain't showing me shit this year. Hey, jack shit. I'm gonna have to make some phone calls this year. See, can we make some arrangements some kind of way? Cause that shit they putting out there on the field this year, damn cable bill is too damn high to be sitting there watching some bullshit like that, man. For real. Every time I go to thinking about it, it pisses me off, man. I just bought a telephone a few weeks ago. They're gonna make me tell this mama hopper up. But you know how it is. You know how it is, brother. I'm about to walk outside. The people get my blood pressure too high. I have to walk outside to cool off for a minute. They play. Sometimes I can't tell if they the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Pittsburgh Panthers. I don't know who is who. Somebody let me know. They say the football field right beside each other. I don't know which one is which now. The Steelers or the Panthers. Sorry as hell. Mike Tomlin sitting over there looking like he ain't doing shit.
You know, he's a defensive coach too, so he don't know nothing about that offensive side of the football, man.
Hell, that defense ain't doing shit neither. Shit, they sitting up there letting a dude just come off an ACL and run up and down the field like he's a Heisman Trophy or something. He just won the Heisman Trophy last night. Ain't whooping to happen. But anyway, as long as them damn Cowboys don't make it, I think I can be all right, though. And I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good seeing them go home about the first week of January.
I tell you what, man. Just like I was talking to Chris. I told Chris, I said, man, you guys got 2 run stoppers. They picked up 2 run stoppers, but they still didn't stop the run. So that's gonna be the blueprint when you play the Cowboys. Is gonna be, hey, run the ball at them. Run the ball at them, keep the game tight, blitz Dak, and because once you start getting a little pressure on Dak, he gets very inaccurate. So once you start,
that's true.
Yeah. So once you start lighting him up a little bit,
the Texans had him.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. They did.
Texans is young. I mean, they done blowed their team up there, but come draft time, they got enough money and some draft picks to do something.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing about the Texans is that, you know, man, when you 1-10, what you got to lose? Nothing. So that's why they didn't have nothing to lose, man. That's why old boy went for it on 4th down instead of kicking the field goal. Like, hey, man, we 1-10, you know. Now,
I mean, you're right. They have nothing to lose. They ain't going nowhere anyway. They'll be just like Pittsburgh. They all gonna be sitting at home.
I wish they had played that last. When the Cowboys had the ball that last time, I wish they had played more blitz instead of playing coverage because they were in more prevent and they kept giving up chunks, man. We start giving 20 yards here, 15 yards here. I was like, man, at some point, hey, go down swinging. If you blitz and then they get a touchdown, and you know what, you'll get the ball back with about a minute left. You can at least have a chance to go down and do something. But if you let them nickel and dime you with prevent, man, they're gonna kill the clock, waste all the time, and go down there and score and beat you. And that's what they did.
And that's what happened to us. And that's what I hate, that prevent defense, man. There's a lot of teams. I don't understand where they come up with that prevent.
All it does is prevent you from winning.
Where they come up with that?
It prevents you from winning.
Get a lot of coaches fired. Get a lot of coaches fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of things, because I don't see nothing to do, because the way things set up now, that the clock, the clock still to be running and everything.
Yes.
Just don't put pressure on the offense. Just like in a regular game, because even when you getting team time enough to set up, they don't ran to it. I mean, they don't call 2 or 3 plays in between. They already know what they're gonna try to do.
Well, see, and that
just getting them chunks of yards.
Right, and that was my issue when I was watching the Cowboys play. I was like, man, what are y'all doing, man? Just either just keep doing what you were doing to get you, whatever you did to get you in that position that you were in. Keep doing it, man. If you blitzing, which they were, because they were blitzing Dak socks off, man. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, we stop. Now we're playing prevent, and I was like, wow. I don't know, man. It's just, that whole thing just was terrible. But the Cowboys escaped. But we did get some help from the Eagles today. What they did, that was great for us.
Yeah.
And the Panthers came through.
The Eagles, man, right now, they're a machine. They got the best offensive line in football, hands down.
Man, you'd be surprised the difference what a offensive line does for you. For your team. People don't realize it's
right.
I would rather have a great offensive line and an average running back than a great running
That's
back
right.
with just a terrible offensive line, because you can have anybody in the backfield. If you don't have a good offensive line, you're not going to win, because the quarterback is not going to
That's
have enough
right.
time to do anything. He's not going to have enough time to go through his progressions. The tailback's not going to be able to run because there's no holes, So it's like, but if you have a great offensive line, man, you can put anybody back there. You can get a bus driver quarterback. You can get a
Put
average
anybody back
running
there.
back. Yes, and you still going to be
Yeah.
in the game.
That's
Yeah.
right. Look at Najee Harris and Saquon Barkley from the Giants. They good running backs, but they don't have no offensive line.
No offensive line.
Barry Sanders is number one.
Yep.
Barry Sanders number one all time.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you,
Yes, sir.
when we played the Giants, man, we just feasted in their backfield. First thing we decided that we were going to take away. Now, I fought the defensive coordinator for that last game because we knew that the Giants can only do two things. That's run the ball and then run the ball. And so they were going to come out and feature Saquon Barkley, and we shut that down. But we fool around was giving up too many freaking yards to the quarterback. Like, come on, this is Daniel Jones. And like, come on, man. At some point, we should have had somebody spying, huh?
No, I just say I want to give a shout out to the Eagles because the last 2 weeks they held Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley to about 60 yards combined rushing.
Oh yeah. Like I said, the Eagles, if there's not a major injury to someone like AJ Brown, I don't see anybody stopping them. I think they're hungry. Only problem is my only concern with the Eagles, and I think when we beat them, I think what that did was kind of made them get hungry again. It made them get hungry because they went out and got two people that they needed to show up that run. So when they got that covered, because sometimes you need a good loss. You need that loss to come to get you back hungry and refocus. So the Eagles gonna be hard to beat. Only thing I can say.
And Jalen.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Jalen Williams, Jalen Hurts. He playing MVP, and he's one of the most focused quarterbacks, and focused and playing better than any quarterback in the league this year. And I want to give a shout out to him because a lot of people didn't think he was gonna make it, but I always seen it in him when he was in college. I used to tell people, I said he's gonna be one of the best quarterbacks in the league because he got that focus. He got that focus,
Right.
and he got all the intangibles.
Right.
He got everything you need, but he just, playing in a different system every year, he never could just get it together.
Right.
But now since they got him out that system, they got him in the regular system now. He's showing his talent. He's showing what he can do.
And the coach there saw something in him that
right.
the other ones didn't see, because that was almost like, okay, are the Eagles gonna draft a quarterback this year? And he's like, nah, we got our quarterback. And they just kind of built the because he runs it. He's a little bit different kind of cat when it comes to running the that RPO offense, because he can actually throw the ball, and he's getting better as a passer. He's starting to throw from the pocket, and he's getting a lot better.
That's true.
Well, homeboy Glenn.
Everything.
Well, homeboy
Yes,
Glenn, you're about to hear the sound of my music as we wrapping the cabin for another episode of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. You know I love it when you call because you have a lot to say. And I know how you love them Cowboy fans.
That's one thing I got to say. Damn them Cowboys. That's one thing I got to say.
All right. Once again, as we bring the circus to an end, I'd like to thank all my guests. Chris, the Cowboy fan, my homeboy Glenn, H-Town Bridget, J.N. Grand Prairie, along with my man Brandon. Let's keep Brandon and his family in our prayers. And Brandon, we want to say hope to see you next week. Now, this has been another episode of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. And I always remember, to all those on the yard, I always say, stay golden, baby. And hello to the country Kennies down in Arkansas and Louisiana and across the great state. Please, whatever you do, Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and subscribe to my channel.